welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being with us every Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate your patience here this morning, and thank you for being a part of the show. We are inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, and those of you that know Heritage Hill know how incredibly spoiled we are to have them in our community. Heritage Hill coming to you on 3149 Sweet Road in Pompey, New York. You can get in touch with them by going out to the rolling hills of central and upstate New York to Palladino Farms, and you can also head to their newest location that is centrally located to so many different parts of our community, from Liverpool, Cicero, Clay, Beeville, North Syracuse, of course, because it's in North Syracuse, and right down the road from Mattydale, as well as not too far from Syracuse, downtown Syracuse, and so many highways, throughways, the airport. It's right there. 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York, at the historic Sweetheart Corner. You'll find Heritage Hill North. So thank you to Heritage Hill for all the work that you do. We appreciate you so very much. With that being said, here on today's show, we got a lot of great stuff coming up where sports truly meets that thing called life, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake Up Call coming to you on YouTube.com, Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT for both. And, of course, you will also find them by going to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, as we are all around the world here with you, and we love being here with you. So thank you for your support, and thank you for your positivity, your messages that you send throughout. Great meeting awesome people in our community and beyond, and I can't thank you enough for making us a part of your morning. And for those of you that listen after the fact, thank you so much for tuning in when you can. We appreciate it so much. Once these shows go live, they're automatically archived on YouTube and Facebook, both .com/wakeupcalldt. So we are so close to you, wherever you are, whenever you can listen and watch. Inside of MonPausPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'? We're going to start the show off with our trio of Signature Friday segments. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. The Top Dog of the Week, that coming to you from Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the places to bring your dog for short and long-term care. And then my guy Jeremiah Sparks is going to be joining the show from Oswego State Lakers men's basketball history, who just finished up his career at Oswego State and is now going to be playing some pro ball. A lot of great stuff coming up here, and I can't wait to talk with Jeremiah in just a little bit. So with that being said, let's hop right into the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. What will I say? Who knows? Here we go.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The Annoying Moment of the Week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Man, there are annoying moments, right, folks? And there's annoying moments, and then there's those things where you're like, really? Do people do this, right? And have we not, in society, in recent history, in these last few years, I think what COVID did was it exposed just how insane people are. You know, I feel like people just kind of got to the point where it was like, I don't know what it was, but when you could finally come outside again from COVID, the crazy people were like, we are not hiding it anymore. We are going to show you our crazy. We're going to live in the crazy. And, you know, it's like, there's something about it, right? When you go out in public now, do you not just kind of sit and think about the fact that when we're out there in this world right now, that the crazy people just, I don't think they care anymore that they're crazy. And I think they like showing it now. I think it's like a badge of honor, like, we're nuts. And we ain't going anywhere, baby. Come see us. I don't know what it is, but crazy people seem to be a lot more comfortable in today's America. And I don't like that. You know, I want people, obviously, I want you to be comfortable. I want you to have a good life. But crazy shouldn't be getting comfortable. That's what I'm saying. Crazy shouldn't be like, hey, you know what? This is kind of our vibe. This is our jig. We like it. We're feeling it. No, stop. Don't do that. Because to me, crazy should not be overly excited to show itself, right? Crazy should probably take a little back seat. And I don't even think take a back seat. Don't even get in the car crazy, okay? You know? I don't know what happened during COVID, but people that are nuts seem to have, I don't know, they've taken over. It was like a little coup. It was like, hey guys, welcome back to life. You can come outside now. By the way, the asylums have all been let out because during COVID, nobody was working. So we just found our way to your area. Great. So happy to have you. Not really. So one of my annoying moments of the week is I think we just need to say it out loud. There's some crazy out there. Things that people do, things that people say. It's a little disturbing how crazy has gotten itself comfortable in today's society, right? What is this thing that like people go out and they just like if they disagree with you, they just come up to you and they start screaming and crying and yelling at you and saying that you're this? I mean, what is that in today's society? What is provoking? What is that? I mean, in what world do people start acting that way? But you see, I mean, I see it. You see it in these like videos. Somebody disagrees with someone and they just start screaming at the top of their lungs. They don't even know what they're talking about half the time. They'll, you know, these people that they're screaming at will ask them questions. They don't know how to respond to the questions. What is going on that people have just gotten comfortable with this like world of let's yell at each other, let's scream. If I disagree with you, I'm just going to yell. I'm just going to yell, right? All the things that are that were considered like psycho back in the day, pre-COVID, now they're like normal. You know, cry hysterically, scream at the top of your lungs, threaten people out in public. What is that? Did something happen to our water system while we were at home during COVID, drinking up these crazy chemicals? What is going on that, you know what I mean? And I feel like something needs to be said about that because it's weird. It's really weird. And it's not normal etiquette. We're not animals. You know, we're not. To quote the Elephant Man, I am not an animal. I am a human being. But why do some humans not act human anymore? By the way, to my generation of people, the late 30s, early 40s, parent your children beyond this, beyond the cell phone, okay? Parent your children beyond the iPad. Do more, okay? I feel like that's something that, and any parent, but my generation, our grandparents were in World War II. Like, my generation should absolutely not be that far reserved from understanding the morals and the values of life and hard work and blue collar and all that stuff. And I was talking to my dad about it this week, and I'm like, what is going on? And my dad was like, well, your generation, their kids that are out there, like, not showing up to work and doing different, and not everybody, because I know a ton of great people, but like, you know, the people that aren't showing up to work and the people that, you know, want everything for free, those were the kids that got a trophy growing up no matter what they did. And some of those are your parents, you know, your generation of parents. That's not how you raise a kid. You have to raise people to understand what it's like to not win, because you're not going to win everything. If you raise people to think that they're going to get what they want every time they want, those people are going to forcibly take it. They're going to commit crimes. They're going to do stupid things. Because if you tell them they can't have it, they're just going to take it. And you can't do that when dealing with a human being. You can't take something from a human that they don't want to give to you. That's considered assault or worse. You know, you can't take whatever you want from a store if you don't buy it. So, what are we teaching kids right now? And if you're allowing the internet to strictly teach your children, and I know you're going to say, Dan, well, you're on the internet, right? So what about you? Well, I would like to think that we share morals and values here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. On top of that, I would also say when I'm talking about the internet, there's a lot on the internet. There's a lot of good on the internet, and there's a lot of on the internet. And you don't know what your kids are looking at when you step away, right? And kids are smart, man. You could put parental controls on there, and that your kid's going to text their friend and go, hey, how you get these things off? Oh, you just go to settings, da-da-da-da-da. And then they switch the settings back when you come back in the room because those kids are smart. You can't walk out the room like that. If I gave a kid an iPad, if I gave like a 3-year-old an iPad, number one, I wouldn't. But if I did, in some weird world, in some parallel universe where I decide to let my iPad parent my children, if I gave a kid an iPad at 3, I'd be standing over the kid looking at everything they're looking at going, what is that? Don't do that. So there were things that I didn't know at 14 years old that a 3-year-old probably knows now. And that takes away the innocence of children. And you have to understand, they say that the younger you are, the more of a sponge your brain is. And I still think that my brain is a sponge today. You can learn a lot of new things. You can grow and evolve and change. And I have, for the better, I would hope. But the whole notion of your brain as a sponge, kids are taking in the information that they're seeing, that they're hearing. What do they say? Hate is taught, love is taught. So if a child is watching videos of people screaming at each other when they disagree with each other, what's a child going to do when someone disagrees with them? It's not rocket science. And we need to do better as parents to understand that these children don't just grow up bad, don't just grow up immoral, don't just grow up saying stupid things and popping off at anybody. They grow up learning what we teach them. And to me, in my opinion, without a relationship with God and without morals and values in the house, and one of the things that really to me is simple, it's difficult because you got to prepare it, but simple in the sense of you sit down and consume food together, having dinner every night with your family, or most nights with if you want to let your kids go, like your kids are older, you want to let them go out on Friday or Saturday, but having dinner at your house, sitting down with each other for an hour at least, with no phones, no technology, no TV on, just talking, that changes households for the better, in my opinion, if you have supportive people around the table. When I go to Papa Joe and Mary's, this is 2024. We don't use our cell phones. We're not watching television. We spend a couple hours just talking. And it's one of the greatest things in the world. And when I look at our relationship and how close we are, a lot of those amazing conversations happen around a table where we're not supposed to have our electronics. Just try it. Just try it. It can do you some good. An annoying moment of the week. Why can't we eat dinner together? It's one meal. It's one meal. And to the parents that are on their cell phones while their kids are sitting there hoping to spend time with you, please understand, do not get mad at your children when they do that. Do not get mad at your children when they ignore you and they're on their phone, because you taught them that. So many reasons why we get upset at our kids in certain instances, we taught them that. So stop teaching them that, right? If you tell your kid you got to be present, you got to be focused. When I talk to you, I want your eyes looking at me, I want your phone down. But you don't do that when they're talking to you about their day, they're not going to give you that respect back because you didn't give it to them. Hypocrisy is something that can break any lesson, any amount of wisdom and knowledge. Hypocrisy will change things because no matter what you try to teach someone, if you do the opposite, they will eventually call you out in their head or out loud. I've done it. My parents, mom and dad teach you something, and then I go, really? Really? My mom tells me, she goes, ooh, when you're out there, when you're driving, you got some road rage. You got some road rage. I'm like, Ma, look at you and Dad. So, but I love you, Mom. I do. But it's true. And I don't have road rage like I'm out there screaming. I don't flip like any time in my life in 38 years, the 4 or 5 times that I've used my middle finger, not usually on the road, by the way, but in 38 years, I think I've used my middle finger 5 times. And I feel bad. God, please forgive me about every single one of the times that I used it, because it's not like me. Like, I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it if I'm scratching something and not even thinking about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, does that person in the food court think I just gave him the finger? So understand what you teach your kids can come back and hurt you or can come back and help you. It depends on what you teach them. And please teach them things. Because when you don't teach your children, they become the world's problem. And I've dealt with people like that. I had a theory that came to life, not in a good way, where I was with someone, and her sister was not really, like, reprimanded. And you got this vibe that, like, her parents were afraid of her. And they didn't want to upset her. And they didn't want to bother her. So then she started treating everybody negatively. Strangers, people she knows, me. And nobody would do anything. And then she'd keep doing it. Nobody would do anything. And I started to realize, oh, because you refused to raise her, now the world has to raise her, and we don't have time for that because we're out here raising our own families and doing our own things. So you made her the world's problem because you didn't want to take care of it inside of your own walls. So now the world is her oyster, and she's spitting on it. And I saw that firsthand. I saw the theory of if you do not raise your children, they become the world's problem. And I know so many good kids. I think it is very unfortunate that young kids today get a bad rap because of some, because it's not the case. You know, not everybody went to Woodstock, right? Not everybody did drugs back then. Well, fast forward, not every kid now is immoral and irrational and lacking of God or, you know, using their phone 24/7. There's a lot of good kids. And if you want to know, how do I know that? Watch our shows at the Wildcat. Come out and see us with West Genesee. Come out and see us at Avicoli's with Liverpool. Come out and see us at Baldwinsville with Pizza Man, okay, with the Baldwinsville Bees. Come out and see the Liverpool High School at Avicoli's. Come out and see the CNS North Stars at Heritage Hill North. I'm around a lot of good kids, and it gives me hope. And shout out to those parents that raise them to be nice to a stranger, you know. First time they meet me, I don't know them, they don't know me. And then the next time, hey Dan, how you doing? Hey, love being on the show, da da da. And you know, and they're awesome once we have a couple minutes together. So that's a beautiful thing. You know, there's a lot of good kids out there. And there's some lost kids out there. And you're never too old to get found. But you got to be willing to put the work in, and it would behoove parents out there to parent themselves and not let the internet do it. Because let's be real about something. I'm on the internet and I use it for good. Not everybody does. Not everybody does. There's a lot of information here, right? Think about it like a library. In a library, you could have the Bible. You could also have Hitler's manifesto sitting in the Bible, right? Or sitting right there in the library. Just because all the books are there doesn't mean they're all good. And it's the information that you consume. Are you consuming the Bible? Are you consuming the internet? Is like a giant library. Not every book is going to give you positive, rational, moral information. So, and if you don't want to raise your kids, then don't have them. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you don't want to raise children, then put them up for adoption. Let somebody else raise them that actually cares. But kids having kids, even adults, they don't want to raise them. And why would you bring life into this world if you don't want to raise it? If you don't want to raise a child, then let somebody else do that. My family has a lot of kids that have been adopted. And I'm thankful to the people in my family that made the choice to raise those children. I value that. I value that the mothers had the children and gave them up to somebody to raise them. And I value the children in our family that are here. And you hope that they remember the incredible sacrifice. I don't care how old Nico and Miguel get. Remember the sacrifice that was made by your biological family. And remember the sacrifice that was made by foster families. And the sacrifice that's made by your family now. Aunt Ev, Aunt Donna, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into that. You got to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself. My parents made a lot of sacrifices. I am their biological son. It doesn't matter if you are or you're adopted. My parents made a lot of sacrifices, and I appreciate that. My parents have one child. One. And the amount of money that it took for me to have an education, to have nice clothes, to be able to travel to different places, to put gas in the car, for them to get me a phone when I was 16 years old. And to this day, my mom and my dad, we go out to get lunch, we go out to get dinner, and they're like, I got it. I want to get this for you. I want to, and I see that. My parents made a lot of sacrifices for me to have a good life, to have a great life. And I want kids to see that. The annoying moment of the week, we talk about it and we turn whatever we're talking about into a positive. Appreciate what your parents do for you. When you have parents that love you, parents that support you, and parents that make a lot of sacrifices for you. If you have a great parent, they're 99.9%. If you have a great parent, they're not selfish. Because in order to be a great parent, you can't be. It doesn't mean they don't take care of themselves. They need to take care of themselves. You don't give up your relationship with your spouse because you have children. And you don't give up the things that you care about because you have children. But you most certainly make sacrifices. And mom, dad, don't think for a second, I don't love the heck out of you, love the heaven out of you, I should say, for so many reasons. One of them being the fact that I know that you made tremendous sacrifices, and I value all of the everything that you've put into me. Another annoying moment of the week is like people have to come out and say when they're privileged now. I don't consider myself privileged. I don't consider myself that word. That word has never... I say it's a privilege to talk with someone, and I use it as like an honor thing. But I don't consider myself a privileged kid. I consider myself a hardworking kid that was raised by two hardworking parents. The color of your skin shouldn't privilege you. We're living in this world where people are constantly trying to separate each other. Well, I should say powers are trying to separate each other. The masses. Because if you separate the masses, you can control them. If you tell them that they're all different from each other, so they shouldn't hang out with each other, and they listen to you, you can control them. I don't see life like that. I don't look at my color and go, oh, this is my color. Oh, this is my... No. I don't do that. If I did that, then I'd be a totally different person. I don't judge somebody, number one, and I definitely don't judge somebody based on color, background, money, religion, blah, blah, whatever. If you're a good person, you and I can roll together. If you love me and I love you back, we take care of each other and we're there for each other, you're honest, you're trustworthy, I got you, you got me. Ask my brothers. We got each other all day. Jimmer, Johnny, Joey, Isaac, Rob, Ross. We got each other. We got each other no matter what. That's how it is. That's family. Jason. When you have family, you got family. So Surround yourself with good people and take responsibility for your children. Take responsibility for yourself. Like in raising those children. Obviously, they grow up, they're going to make their own choices, but take your responsibility to raise those kids. If they're your kids, raise them. Biologically, adopted, foster, whatever. If they are in your household, raise those kids to the best of your ability. Let me tell you something. When a parent gives the best that they can possibly give and they do it with a pure heart and good intentions, you're not going to fail. You might think you fail, but you're not going to fail. If you love your kids and you give them that love every single day, they will thank you for that someday. They'd be crazy not to. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad, for loving me the way you do. Mom, you're cool as hell. You know that. Everybody wanted my mom to be their mom because she's awesome. Because no matter how old I get, she's cool. She's fun. And what do I mean by cool? She smiles with you. Like she has always told me, like, without even saying a word, the way she treats me is like, honey, when I look at you, I see you as a baby. I see you as 3. I see you as 20. I see you as 38. You're my boy throughout time. And your spirit is what I look at. When my mom has this amazing way of, like, I'm spending time with her and I'm going, I could be 3 years old and it would have been the same. You know? Honey, do you want a sandwich? Let's watch something together. What'd you do today? How was your day? Did you have fun? Congratulations on your sponsorship. I'm so proud of you. My mom is consistent. I love that. You know? And my dad, growing up, we didn't have those talks. But we have more now. I would want to have an hour conversation with my dad. My dad talked to me for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Now, my dad will sit on the phone for 2 hours. We have conversations. And I love that. Because it's fun now. You know? Because we're talking. And my dad's giving me some great advice in those 1 minute conversations and in those 2 hour conversations. And I can tell you this right now. My dad gave me advice when I was 7 years old. I wasn't playing on my basketball team. I didn't think my coach cared. I thought I was doing things I was supposed to do. And I still wasn't playing. And I said to my dad, I remember exactly where I was in the house. And I remember where he was. I was in my room. He was in the other. I remember I walked in. I go, Dad. And I was thinking about it in the room. And I was like, I don't know how to say it. And I was nervous to say it. Something inside of me was like, this is wrong. I walked in. I go, Dad, I want to quit the team. And getting that Q word out, folks, please know, it makes me want to throw up all the time. Because I don't believe in that word. But I was 7 years old. I said it to my dad. And he ignored me. I thought he ignored me. I said, Dad, did you hear me? He said, I heard you. So let me tell you something. No. I said, Dad, I want to quit the team. It's I'm on the team. You're not on the team. I'm on the team. I want to quit. I don't want to do it no more. My dad said, no. Nope. Reading the newspaper. No. Next subject. Type of thing. And I'm looking at him like, excuse me, this is my life. He said, no. You're not going to quit this team, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if I allow you to quit this team, you will quit on things for the rest of your life. I never forgot that he said that to me. Raise your kids and raise them with the knowledge and the wisdom that you didn't have when you were their age. We have benefits as parents, as uncles, as aunts, as grandparents, as mentors, as teachers, as coaches. We have the benefit of talking to young people and having knowledge and wisdom that we probably didn't have when we were their age. It would behoove us to share that with them so that they can have a better life, make better decisions than we did. People always say, if you go back in time and tell yourself something, what would you say? Well, those things that you would say those to the young kids. You might be their only lifeline. Remember that. The annoying moment of the week, taking the negative, spinning it to a positive, right here on Wake Up Call. What would you have loved to hear as a kid? Go give that to somebody. I got to have that moment last night. 2 kids, young kids, baseball teammates, friends, came over to me at the end of trade night, GG Cards and Breaks, had our trade night out at the Wildcat Sports Pub. I'm partnered with the Wildcat, as you know. I'm partnered with GG Cards and Breaks, as you know. The whole family came together last night. Love it. We go out to the Wildcat for trade night for GG Cards and Breaks once a season. So once in the spring, once in the summer, once in the fall, once in the winter. So next one coming up will be in the fall. And these kids come up to me, and they had come up before. They come up at the end of the night. They say they both had these graded cards. They said, "What would you do for these cards? Is there anything that you would trade?" Da, da, da. So I said, "You know what? Who are you guys fans of?" And they told me. And I was thinking, okay, I don't know what I have baseball-wise with that because I have more football. And the one kid goes, "Well, I'm more football." I said, "Okay, what are you a fan? Who are you a fan of?" He said, "Kansas City." I said, "All right." The other kid goes, "I'm a Giant." I said, "Okay, perfect." And I went into my my box, and I had a stack of Chiefs players, and I had a stack of Giants players. And I handed the Chiefs players to the one kid, and I handed the Giants players to the other kid. I said, "Take these." I said, "I want to tell you something." I said, when I was a little kid and I started collecting cards, there was a guy that was really nice to me. It was George, who owned George's Sports Cards by North Salina Street. And, I said, he was really good to me. So here you guys go, right? But I want you to do something, and you have to promise me. I said, it's important to do good by other people. So I'm going to give these cards to you. I want you to take them home, and I want you to do something nice for somebody else. Will you promise me? They said yes, and they both shook my hand. I didn't know those kids before last night. But when you can bend down and you can say, "Hey, here, let me do something nice for you. And maybe you'll remember this. And maybe it'll affect the rest of your life. And maybe you'll say, when the world is hard and it's cold and it's mean and it's nasty, there was that one guy at that sports card show when I was a kid, and he didn't have to, and he didn't know me, and he didn't get anything out of it, and he didn't get any money. He just handed me a stack of cards. Just because. He just wanted to do something nice. And maybe that person's 27, 28 years old down the road and has been through hell. But they decide to be nice because they remember moments like that. Their moment with me, their moment with somebody else, of when the world can't be that bad if that total stranger did something that nice. Be that difference in someone's life. Be that ray of sunshine. We all know what darkness looks like. And we all have the capacity to be a light. Why do you think I do the segment, The Light Between Us, with Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay? To share with you that there are good people out there. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. We'll be back with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, another segment we do with Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay from the Heritage Hill Studios right after this. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the tastes of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942. And tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And where sports meets life, perfect segue when it comes to Chick-fil-A Cicero and our meeting, Jimmer and I, who you just heard from. My time with him and meeting him and speaking about where everything I do, how that meets life, how that meets faith, how that meets God, and what I try to do in my life and what he tries to do with Chick-fil-A and his life, and they linked up. So hearing his message always means the world to me, and love hearing your voice, Jimmer. So with that being said, one of my brothers, love him dearly. It's time to get into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. I know some of you made some comments here. Let's take a look at this. Ron said, "Hiya, Dan. Hope you're doing well. Dunkelberger family. What is up, family? I miss y'all. I was just thinking about you guys lately because I'm seeing Trey doing his thing, making a family of his own. So, Ron, I miss all of you, and we need to catch up soon. Y'all have crossed my mind. So let's make sure that we talk soon. God bless to you all in Jesus' most precious name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I send all of you my love. I hope you guys are doing well. Kevin said, doing a nice thing doesn't have to be big, just nice. Like the story. Thank you, Kevin. Well, you're always doing nice things, Kevin, so you know all about that. Always making people feel seen, including myself. I could speak to that, Kevin. You treat me, who is a total stranger, like part of the family, and I love being around you and your family, so thank you, Kevin. Jerry said, great segment, a lesson to be taken to heart. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Hey, that's what we're here for. That's what Wake Up Call is, right? I'm not just here to go, hey, statistics. We're here to spread positivity, spread love, and bring each other together. That's what we're here for. It's what we need to be here for. Life is about working together, loving each other, helping each other, or else what the heck are we doing? So, if you're not utilizing your talents in life to give back to other people, then you're not using your talents properly, in my opinion. It should never be all about you. It should be about what you can do for others, how you can help others. Jesus died on the cross so that we could go to heaven. He didn't have to. He was going to go to heaven no matter what. He had his talents that God gave him, right? And could have just used them for his benefit. But he healed us. He spoke to us. He died for us. He didn't have to do that. So if you believe in God Almighty and his Son Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, guess what? If God himself is giving to us of his talents, why would we use our talents only for ourselves? Something to think about. If the highest of the high shared their gifts with us, I think you can share your gifts with the world too. Today's lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is the acronym proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. The topic, when God checks in on the lesson. What do I mean by that? Well, God teaches us lessons. Whether you believe in God or not, God believes in you. And the lessons that God teaches us are important to learn. And when we don't learn them, we continue to get taught. Do you ever wonder why you feel like the same thing is happening over and over and over again? It's because you're not learning the lesson. Keep dating the same people? It's because you're not learning the lesson. Keep going through the same things at work? It's because you're not learning the lesson. Keep feeling like you're getting bullied and you're hitting a wall? You're not learning a lesson. You can't control if somebody bullies you. You can't control if somebody fires you for no cause. You can't control if somebody breaks up with you. But are you learning the lesson? I got bullied a lot, and then I stood up to the biggest bully in my life, and then all of a sudden my life changed. God checks in on the lesson. He doesn't just give you the test and walk away. What did God say? I go before you. I am beside you. I'm behind you. God is at every angle of you, protecting you. If he's in front of you, behind you, and at your side, first and foremost, that's the cross, if you realize that. But that means he's everywhere. God hands you a sheet of paper, right? This is the test. He doesn't go, here you go, and walk away. What do teachers do when they give you tests? They hand you the test, and they sit at their desk, and they watch the room. You think God is different? You think God is different? When you get the lesson, you don't go, well, I'm going to take this test and rip it up. I can't rip this up because I got important stuff on it, but you know what I mean? Rip it up, throw it out. No. If you do that, God has a funny way of you turn around and he puts it back on. You're like, what did you just, I just ripped that up. And he's like, here you go. Magic, right? Miracle. Here you go. Well, I'm going to put this test down. I'm not going to take it right now. Well, then you're going to fail. So I'm going to rip it up. Well, then you're going to fail. And what happens when you fail? What happens when you don't take the test and you fail that grade? You got to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Why do you think God is different than school? Right? He's schooling us every day. He's saying, here's your test. And if we refuse to take it, we fail. If we rip it up, we fail. If we walk out of the room, we fail. And we end up back in that same room at another point, taking the same test. And if we fail it, we take it again. And we take it again. And we take it again. So if you feel like, wow, my life is not changing, it's not getting any better, I feel like I'm just trapped in one spot. Well, stop setting traps for yourself. Dan, there's a bear trap on my leg. Well, why did you put a bear trap in the bedroom right outside, right next to your bed? You wake up in the morning, bear trap. See, we complain about our lives and we say, he put us here, she put us there, this situation put me there. Nah, y'all put yourself there. Y'all put yourself there. You want to know how I know that? Because I have friends that had their dads leave, ignore them, treat them horribly, right? And like I know somebody who grew up, mom had her, put her up for adoption, tried to bury herself in the sense of she didn't want to be found. She didn't want the dad to be found. So this person goes through so many years of their life not knowing their biological parents. These people that want to be found. One of the kindest hearts I know. One of my brothers, one of my closest friends ever, his biological father, 3 years old, left. His stepdad, when I met his stepdad, they didn't really seem to interact with each other. Didn't really seem to be much there. That guy's a father of two now. Fantastic person. He has shown me love since the moment we became friends 16 years ago. He shows love to his wife. He shows love to his family that's good to him. He shows love to his family that's not good to him. He shows love to his kids. So when people tell me I'm not where I am, I'm not where I'm supposed to be because I got this mom, because I got this dad, because I lived in this neighborhood, stop. What did Morgan Freeman say? When people said, I can't get out, I can't get out, I can't get out, I can't get out. He said, the bus runs every day. The bus runs every day. God, in my opinion, does not put us in a situation and say, stay there. When it's bad, when it's horrible, when it's unlivable, stay there. Because I created you so that I could beat up on you because you suck and I hate you. That's not God's language. That's our language. But that's not God's language. That's not how God talks to his children. So, why would you think God created? Because some people believe this. They're like, well, God created those people to succeed and created me to fail. Like, I was going to fail from birth. It's in my blood. That doesn't make any sense. You're not going to fail. Do you know that the most successful people at some point were considered crazy? Einstein, crazy. Edison, crazy. Martin Luther King Jr., crazy. George Washington, crazy. There are people that were considered nuts for going, I'm going to go find this land. People that, the Revolutionary War, people that wanted America to be free, crazy. Crazy. People that thought the earth was flat and people said, no, it's round. Those people were considered crazy. At some point in history, things that we take today and flip on a switch and the light goes on, when Thomas Edison said, I believe in this. When other people tried it, when people were working on it going, we can create light. It doesn't have to just come from the sun. People were like, you're insane. And now all these years later, you flip a switch on, you don't even think about it. If the light doesn't turn on, you flip out. How does the light not turn on? Because electricity is something you were born with. It's something that you think just happened. Some people think that the earth made it, right? The earth just made electricity. I just wake up in the morning and it's there. But there were people back in the day saying we can do this, and people were going, no, you can't. No, you can't. you're not going to succeed. Do you know that? So stop saying that you're not where you are in life because of somebody else. You're not where you are in life because you made decisions to not be there. I'm not saying that there's not roadblocks. There's roadblocks with everybody. That's why I said I don't consider myself privileged, and I don't consider that. I feel like that's in a word, and it's an apologetic word in society now to separate people. These people are privileged, these people are not, so fight with each other. Because if you're fighting with each other, you're not paying attention to the fact that we're controlling all of you. Because that's the real message, and we need to be smart to that. When it comes to life, and you look at my life and you go, hey, Dan, you must have been privileged, right? You had parents that love you. You grew up in a nice neighborhood. Let me tell you something. To this day, the media doesn't like that I'm in that room. The majority of the media in that room, they don't talk to me. They don't look at me. They don't respect me. They steal from me all the time. And they don't say hello. Imagine that. You'll take from a man who you don't believe is a real broadcaster. You don't credit him. You don't award him. You don't honor him, but you use his work as your own, and then you give yourselves awards. And you give awards to each other. Ain't that nice? So, do I consider myself a privileged person when I walk into a room treated like a pauper? No. So guys, do I consider myself a privileged person when I went to a school that was really expensive and there was a lot of white collar kids who daddy and mommy seemingly, like, these kids thought they were untouchable? I didn't fit in. So to me, when you look at a person, you look at a person's color, you look at a person's house, and you say, well, this person's privileged. Everybody is challenged in some way. God does not have anyone go through life without being taught a lesson. And God checks in on those lessons. I love my life. And I don't have the adversity of some other people. But it doesn't mean that I don't have adversity. Everybody has adversity. I watched a thing last night that said, pray for your friends. Pray for your friends. It kept saying it. Pray for them. Because your friends are going through stuff that they're never going to tell you. Your friends might be hanging on by a thread right now. And they're not sharing that. Pray for them. You have no idea what people are going through. No idea what people are going through. Because a lot of us think about, I shouldn't say a lot of us, some of us think about ourselves. And when we think about ourselves, it's all about, well, me and what happened to me and what about me? But what about other people? Stop thinking that everybody's got a perfect life. They might have a big old mansion, but their parents might never be home. Well, that's cool. You could party. Well, you also don't get raised. You're also very lonely. You also don't learn about love. That person has been abandoned since they were a little kid. A nanny is raising them. You think that they got a cushy life? Their adversity is they don't have love in their home. I would rather live in a small shack with a mother and father that hold my hand and we pray before every meal than be in a mansion by myself with nobody to talk to. And that doesn't mean that there's not families in mansions that love each other up. And it doesn't mean that there's not shacks where people don't love each other. I'm just making an example of the house doesn't make the people make the people. The job doesn't make the people make the people. We lose ourselves when the money makes us, when the job makes us, when the accolades make us. And I'm not sitting here to knock the media. I'm telling y'all 100% truth, but it hurts my heart to tell it because I would be friends with everybody in the media. I want to walk in the room and go, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? But when you walk into a room of a bunch of people that treat you with zero respect, I was taught if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So when I'm silent, it's not because I'm a jerk. It's not because I think I'm better than you. It's because I don't have anything to say. Because the only thing I want to say is, why do you steal from me and then tell me that I don't belong? I either belong or I don't. If you're stealing from me, then obviously I belong. But by the way, whether you steal from me or not, whether you're nice to me or not, I'm going to be here because I do belong. And that's what you have to realize about life. You belong because you decided you belong. You have to decide you belong. Dan, I can't work on Wall Street. I grew up poor. Why? You belong. You think nobody on Wall Street grew up poor? You think every single one of those people on Wall Street was rich from day zero? They might tell you they were. They might look like they are. Everybody has adversity. Everybody has a lesson to learn. Every single one of us has to learn something. And you might look up at God and go, God, why are you teaching me this lesson? I learned it. And now when I go to say it, even if it gets out of my mouth, which it gets out of my mouth a lot less, I would think, God, maybe it doesn't. You know better. I trust your judgment. But when God throws me a lesson I've already had, everything inside of me is like, why? But now I don't say why as much because I must have not have learned something. And you know what, God? I didn't. In dating, he sent me the same stuff. I kept trying to help people. And I kept getting hurt. Don't know how to say no. Know how to say no, but don't want to say no. Don't want to hurt somebody. So I get hurt. Hold on to things that are bad for me. Hold on to them again. And now I'm doing it less. And now I'm letting go. And God checked in with me. Hey, man, you were really hurt by this. Then you jumped right into this. Did you learn? And I was like, no, I didn't. I need more time with it. I need to heal a little bit longer. This wasn't right. This person lied to me. Day one, they lied. I didn't know until day whatever. But when I finally knew, I let it go. And I was honest about not wanting to continue down the road. And at the same time, tried to not hurt somebody's feelings. When you look at life and you wonder why the same lesson keeps happening, you have to really sit down and take a good hard look at your life and ask yourself the question, am I learning? Am I learning from the lesson? Because if you're not learning from the lesson, that's why you keep getting it. If you're not passing it, that is why you keep getting it. And that's real. I love y'all. I might never even meet you, but I'm telling you I love you. Well, Dan, how can you love me? You don't know me. I don't have to know you. I'm sending you love. Because that's who I am. You might send me hate. You might send me negativity. But I send you love. And it's funny how God works because this thing just popped up. When Job had everything, he worshiped. When Job lost everything, he worshiped. Worship isn't about your circumstances. It's about who God is. God is a great teacher because he teaches us things that make us uncomfortable. The best teachers that I have ever had, Tom DeSantis, Barbara Jacks, Patricia Cuno, the best teachers, Marilyn Goulet, that I have ever had, taught me things that made me uncomfortable. Made me in a good way uncomfortable. I'm not saying teachers make you uncomfortable. I'm saying taught me something that we have to differentiate. Made me uncomfortable. Because I had to get better. I had to push myself. And I love that. To this day, Mrs. Cuno, Feeney D, Mr. DeSantis, I call him my Feeney from Boy Meets World reference. Feeney D, Mrs. Cuno, Mrs. Jacks, Miss Goulet, Miss Quilty. I don't forget those people. Because they told me the truth. And they wanted me to learn. And I love that. They taught me how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is the lesson that God teaches you every day if you're willing to learn it. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. I walk into a room full of my peers and they don't talk to me and they don't look like they like me. That's uncomfortable. But you know what it's done? It's made me feel pride, feel good, feel strong, feel happy that I am myself in that room. In a room full of vultures, I don't let anybody take me down. God taught me in those rooms. I was like, oh man, I feel uncomfortable. I feel like they don't want me here. Well, I'm there. And I love it. And it's 20 years in, about to be 21. And when I have those really hard moments, I say to myself, you never gave up. You know what you're doing. You are a professional. Act like it. Just because you're a professional doesn't mean other people are. Just because you're trustworthy doesn't mean other people are. Just because you're not going to hurt somebody doesn't mean that other people won't. Just because you love doesn't mean other people love. They can hate. It's one of the toughest lessons to learn in life, but it's something that my dad told me a long time ago. And my mom told me, just because you are who you are doesn't mean other people are the same way. But you have to learn the lesson. If for 20 years you walked into a room of people that told you that you don't belong, why in the 21st year or going toward the 21st year are you sitting there scared, oh my gosh, do I belong in this room? You already decided you belong in the room. God already decided you belong in that room. A decade has gone by. 5 months have gone by. Why do you think that? They don't have to choose you. They don't have to love you. They don't have to like you. Let them snicker. You keep going. Let them laugh. You keep going. Let them steal. You keep going. Let them rip. Let them say. Let them do. That you keep going. God will teach you a lesson over and over and over again until you get it. And why would you want to take the same test every day for the rest of your life? Would you want to go to social studies in 9th grade and take the same test about, Nazi Germany and this? Or would you like to take over and over and over and over and over? Now you're 38 years old. Now you're 52 years old. You're taking the same test from 9th grade social studies. That means you're not moving. You have to learn. You have to learn. You got to learn in relationships romantically what God is teaching you. You have to learn in friendships what God is teaching you. You have to learn in family what God is teaching you. You have to learn in chasing your dreams what God is teaching you. You have to know about your health what God is teaching you. Your morals and values what God is teaching you. What roads to take God is teaching you, because you are going to be put in a situation that once you learn that lesson, God is going to say, okay, I taught you lessons about forks in the road and what to look for. Now there's a fork in the road. What are you going to do? Why did we take driver's ed? So that we could learn how to drive. And what do we have to do with the driver's ed information? Sit in the classroom and talk about it? No, we had to go and implement it in our daily life. If you don't remember what you learned in driver's ed, you're probably a terrible driver. It's learn, implement, move on. Learn, implement, move on. If you're stuck in a rut, don't blame God. Don't blame him, her, this, that. Blame yourself. Because the lesson that God is trying to teach you, you're refusing to take it here. You're refusing to learn it. And you're going to keep taking that test. And if you don't wisen up, you're going to be 82 years old, laying in bed going, my whole life done flashed before my eyes, and I haven't learned a dang thing from 8 years old to 82. And ain't that a dang shame? And guess what? You can't go take it again. God's not going to go, hey, I'm going to give you 74 years back. You're going to go back in time, and you're going to get to reset it. No, when you're 82 years old and you haven't learned that lesson from 8 years old, you're going to keep taking that test till you die. And God's going to say, I had so many great things to give to you, but y'all took too long on that test in 9th grade social studies. We got to learn, man, or else we keep going cycle. When people say, I'm just stuck on a hamster wheel, a vicious cycle, you know what I would tell those people? I'm stuck on a hamster wheel, vicious cycle. I would say, well, why don't you step off that damn hamster wheel? Has somebody got a gun to your head telling you to run on this wheel? Then get off the wheel. You want to change your life? Change it. You want better? Get better. Most people, life is like a stadium, and I've said this a million times on the show, probably a billion times on the show. Life is like a stadium. Most people sit in the seats. 70,000 fans sitting in the seats. So few people stand on the field. Football game, 11 on 11. 22 people on the field, 70,000 people in the seats. 70,000 people watching life go by going, I could do it better than that, but 22 people having the courage in front of fear to go and live. I'm not saying don't go to a game, and I'm not saying don't sit in the stands and enjoy the game. I'm talking figuratively about life. Do you want to be one of the people in the stands that watches life go by, or do you want to be somebody that's living it? Get out of your seat. Get on the field. And if you don't get on the field, God's going to keep trying to get you on the field for the rest of your life. And they say when we're about to die, we're all laying in hospital beds going, man, I wish I got out on the field. So get out on the field today. Why do you want to be the trillionth person to say on their deathbed, I wish I got on the field? Go get on the field right now. Don't become a statistic in a negative place. Become a statistic in a positive place. Change the narrative in your life. If you don't like the story that's being told in your life, who's the author? You. So change the narrative. You're the writer. You're the writer. If you don't like the narrative of your story, then throw out that piece of paper and start fresh. You want to make changes? Make changes. It's your life. Don't let anybody else live it. Don't let anybody else tell you what it's supposed to be. Live your life. Learn. Gain. Learn from people that do things that you would never do. Learn from people that do things that you would do. You can learn from not great situations. You can learn from great situations. I have learned from people how to act and how not to act. When I see somebody hate, I don't go, ooh, let me take that in. I go, ooh, let me never do that. But I think it's really hard to learn lessons in life without understanding that God is the creator and God is the teacher. When you know where your lesson's coming from, you know that no matter what you do and how hard it is, that teacher's never going to leave the room. And they're always going to be watching. And their job, if you fail, is to teach you and teach you and teach you until you learn. God has never walked out on a single classroom. And we've given him every reason to. What a great teacher. Why don't we learn this lesson so that we can go on to the next grade? This has been Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. We're going to jump into the top dog of the week here as we get set for Jeremiah Sparks in just a moment. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. The place to bring your dog, in my opinion, for short and long-term care. They're both in East Syracuse. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. And right down the road from it on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, you will find Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, where you can bring your dog to have their very own cabin for longer care. If you're going to be out of town, or maybe you're fumigating the house, or you're doing a renovation, or you got a graduation party going on and you're afraid people are going to be running in and out the house too much, whatever your reason is, if you need daycare, you have daycare. If you need dog boarding to have a little more time where your dog is going to be away from the house, maybe you're moving, well, then you can get in touch with the campground. The daycare, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. And the campground, 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. You can get more information on the daycare by going to k-9kamp.com. And for Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, you can go to k-9kampground.com. So make sure you get in touch with them today. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, or you can just say DT sent me. Wake up call, DT, either way, I appreciate you going over there because I wouldn't send you someplace that I wouldn't go with Lily, and I have gone with Lily to the wonderful team at Canine Kampground and Canine Camp Dog Daycare in partnership. I thank them both for the work that they do, to Lorraine, to Chad, and the team there. Thank you so much for the love and positivity that you bring and the peace of mind that you bring for us to have a home for our dogs away from home for the day or for a few days. I honestly cannot thank you enough for that. And Lily can't thank you enough for it either because she gets spoiled over there. So, she knows she's cute and, she's a good dog. So thank you to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Top dog of the week. Who will be my top dog of the week? Man, I got thoughts. I always have thoughts on who the top dog of the week is going to be. And you know what? To put it back to the annoying moment of the week, my top dogs are the parents that parent. Those are my top dogs. My top dogs are the parents that parent. I want to give y'all some thanks. I want to give y'all some love. The parents that have dinner with their kids, the parents that talk to their kids about their day, the parents that sit and cry with their kids, learn from their kids, the parents that realize that even though you're the parent, you can learn from your children. Those are my top dogs of the week. The parents that show up, the parents that don't make excuses, the parents that treat their children better than they were treated in life. Not saying that they had bad parents or good parents, but the ones that are like, hey, these are the things I like, and these are the things that I didn't like growing up, and I'm going to do the best I can with my kids. To the parents that go to field trips, to the parents that pick your kids up, parents that surprise your kids, parents that show up at the recitals and show up at the games, whether your kid is playing the main character or a tree, whether your kid is the starter or they're on the bench playing every other game, 2 minutes a game, not playing for 5 games. To the parents that show up, to the parents that have learned from life and that share that wisdom and that knowledge that they've gained, they share those with their children in the hopes that their children will have a better life than they have. Plain and simple, you are my top dogs of the week. You are my top dogs this week. You're my top dogs last week. You're my top dogs next week, because the parents that parent, the parents that are there, the parents that show up, and the parents that do everything they can so that their children can have a better life than they did, shout out. And if you're not a parent and you're an uncle, you're a mentor, you're a friend, whatever, okay? You don't have to be a parent to change a life. You're a teacher, you're a coach, you're a janitor. My grandfather, my mom's dad, my Papa Cavino, he owned at one point 3 businesses. He had Cavino Brothers, successful business. My mom told me that he told her his favorite job was his last one. He was a janitor at a school. And he loved it because he loved seeing the kids and he loved talking to them. Had all this stuff, had money, had his name on the side of a building, notoriety, networking, connections. His favorite job was being a janitor because he got to be around kids. And he got to learn from them, and I'm sure they learned from him. I would love to talk to a kid who my grandfather gave advice to. And I hope that somehow, some way, somewhere, someday, and I know it's not impossible because God has given miracles to me in my life, my whole life. God, I'm going to ask this prayer right now in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. If you can send me a beautiful blessing that someone who learned from my grandfather, if you can have us cross paths of someone that either one of my grandfathers, both of my grandfathers, taught something to, and it has helped this person to be a great person to themselves, to others. If you can help me cross paths with people that knew my grandparents, learned from them as kids, and are now grown up out there doing their thing, I would love the opportunity to be blessed by somebody who could tell me about my grandfathers, because they passed away when I was 6. Tell me about my grandfather in 1992. Tell me about Ralph Tortora Jr. and Thomas Cavino. If you learned from them, if you worked at Miller Brewing Company with my grandpa Ralph, if you were one of the kids walking up and down the halls when Tommy Cavino was your janitor, I pray to you, God, that you will help me to cross paths with these people that can tell me a story about my grandfathers that will give me happy tears. In your name, Jesus Christ, I pray. In the name of the Father, may it be done, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will have Jeremiah Sparks on the show talking about people that we want to name top dogs. Jeremiah Sparks, one of those people. He'll be with us right after this. Inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, this is Wake Up Call. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the tastes of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, and I am honored and privileged to end the week with someone who I've had the opportunity of covering over the years at Oswego State with the Lakers men's basketball team, and that is Mr. Jeremiah Sparks here with me this morning, picture in picture. Mr. Jeremiah, how we doing here, sir? How's everything?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing very well, man, and I just... First and foremost, and you and I, like I said, have had some time over the years to talk to each other. I just want to thank you more than anything else. I want to thank you for coming to Oswego. I want to thank you to help this team be what they've been, to help put the team on the map, give them consistency. You've just been you've been an awesome light to the community, and I want to say thank you for that.
No, I'm gonna redirect that and thank you for bringing exposure to Oswego and always popping out and doing post conference games and stuff like that. I mean, I want to thank you for that. So.
Well, I appreciate that. We can ping pong this thing back and forth. I can thank you again. But Jeremiah, let's go back to the beginning here. Why Oswego?
I mean, I wasn't highly recruited out of high school. Really only 3 schools that really caught my mind. Either Brockport, Nazareth, Oswego. Leon was a heavy recruiter. Showed up to a lot of my football games. Called me often. I got to go up there and take a visit, meet the guys. Had a lot of fun and things for me. And I really didn't get to visit Brockport or Nazareth too well, so I really didn't have much option. So,
you said that he came out and saw your football games.
Yeah.
So bring me into that, because obviously we know you at Oswego in the basketball world. How good of a football player would you consider yourself, and do you miss it?
Oh yeah, I definitely miss it. High school was fun. My senior year, I love the section and touchdowns. I mean, yeah, it was football's a fun sport to watch, fun sport to play. But kind of at the end of the day, I decided that I wasn't much of a football player than I was a basketball player, and felt that basketball was my route.
And now that you've taken that, hindsight being 2020, what would you say if you could go back in time, having everything that you've had at Oswego, this whole experience, if you could go back and talk to yourself before you made your decision, what would you say, hindsight 2020, about choosing basketball and choosing Oswego?
I mean, I think it was the greatest decision I made. I mean, we did something special there. I met a group of guys that I really like, still stay in contact with, and they'll be my friends for life. So I think that was the best part of college, was meeting my guys and becoming close brothers with them.
Yeah, you mentioned, you said Leon here, and Jason Leon, the head coach of the Oswego State Lakers. I don't know if you feel this or if you get a sense for this, but he's the type of guy where if he was coaching in the NBA, I wouldn't be surprised. If he was coaching in D1, D2, D3, JUCO, anywhere, I feel like Jason is the type of guy, because of what matters to him, because of loyalty, because of honesty, because of trust, because of work ethic, because of what he commands of himself and what he expects of other people, being a teacher, being a mentor, wanting to get the best out of you. There's really no place that I could see him not belonging. Do you second that when it comes to his coaching?
He could coach anywhere and get results that he wanted, because that's the kind of guy he is, and he's going to work towards it, and he's going to do what he's got to do to get it. So,
what did he get out of you when you look at yourself going into Oswego and now yourself coming out of Oswego? What would you say Jason helped you to accomplish personally?
Personally, he made me a more mature player. So just not so much in my head, more of a leader, knowing that I got to lead by example, being vocal. I mean, a lot of my game is credited towards him. So I want to thank him for that.
And this team has had so much success. And for those of you that have been out there, first and foremost, I mean, Max Zeal Gymnasium, it gets rocking. It's loud. It's exciting. And you can feel in the air when you guys are in the postseason. You can feel it when it's a tournament time. You have lived in this world of being successful in the SUNYAC, which is really difficult. For those of you that don't know the conference, the SUNYAC, you should check it out. But the conference is difficult. The fact that this team has been not only winning in the conference, being at the top of the conference, but then getting in the NCAA tournament, getting to host the NCAA tournament multiple times. Bring me into that, being where you've been as an institution at Oswego State for men's basketball. We are not seeing this once in a while. It's become a normalcy where there's now an expectation of this team is supposed to be at the top of the SUNYAC, supposed to vie for a championship in the SUNYAC, get in the NCAAs, host the NCAAs, be bare minimum in the final 16, if not the final 8. I mean, there's a lot of expectation, and that's come from a lot of success that you've been a part of.
Yeah, I mean, Leon was very successful before I got here. I remember my senior year coming up to watch them play in the national tournament that they hosted, where they beat Baldwin Wallace and maybe another team. But I ended up watching that. They ended up winning both games, going to the Sweet 16 to play Marietta, and that was just being at that game as a senior in high school. It was pretty electric. I felt like I was part of the team for a second, so.
Why do you think that success has been sustained at Oswego? That we see this team in the NCAA tournament perennially. We see, and it's so difficult for those that don't know, and we've talked about this on the show before, but over 400 teams in Division III men's basketball, over 40 conferences in Division III men's basketball. To be an at-large bid, seemingly to many people, is like threading a needle. Yet Oswego, if you win the SUNYAC, you get in. If you don't win the SUNYAC, Oswego still gets in. So there's something to be said about the strength of, like I said, the conference of the SUNYAC, but also the reputation that Oswego State has built in men's basketball. What can you say to that effect? How does this team, how does this program stay perennially effective? Because there's a lot of Cinderella stories, Jeremiah, you know that, but this team seems to every single year find its way back to nationals.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the recruits we got coming in, the people we got in the system that are buying in and really locked into what we got going on and being selfless, sacrifice, because to win with good players on my side, you got to have sacrifice something. Somebody's got to sacrifice something to win. So, the biggest thing is recruiting people that have good characteristics and are willing to sacrifice to win and do whatever it takes.
For you, Jeremiah, here with Jeremiah Sparks, Oswego State Lakers men's basketball alum, heading to play pro ball. We're going to get into that. Has it sunk into you yet that you're now a member of the alumni of Oswego State?
Not really, not yet. But yeah, I'll probably hit when I go see the boys when they get up there. Go visit them really quick for the day and say my sayonaras.
So for you, as we step into the opportunity to play professionally, again, it's drive, it's talent. There's God-given talent, but it's drive, it's dedication, it's determination, it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's being a student of the game. It's constantly putting the work in. So there is something to be said about what you've done and this opportunity that's here. D1, D2, D3, JUCO, whatever it may be, there's talent everywhere, and now you have an opportunity to play professionally. Share that with everyone, where you're going to be going and this opportunity that you have.
Yeah, so I got a contract in Germany from BG Opie Siegen Black Flies. I go out there in mid-August, and I want to thank Nick Perrioli for that. He set me up with that, and he's an Oswego State alumni just like me. Played basketball at Oswego State, and I think he and I are the only, me, him, and Christian are the only three that play professional basketball out of Oswego State. So it's an honor.
Why do you think, and credit to Nick Perrioli, who I've gotten to meet over the years as well and spend some time with, why do you believe that, and obviously, the help and the connections and those bridges are important, but there's credit to your work ethic and the things that you've done as well. Why do you believe you're a pro ball player?
I think I got the talent for it. I think I got the skills, and I know I can do it. So
Going to Germany. Have you ever been to Germany?
I have not. I've never been out of the country.
Okay. So this is, when do you report? When are you heading over there?
So my flight, I actually booked my flight already. I leave August 17th.
And for you to have this opportunity in front of you, I know a lot of guys that have gone overseas, and the experience has been tremendous. They get to see the world, do a lot of wonderful things. To know that, like you said, you've never been out of the country, but everything that you've given to the game continues to give back. What's going through your mind and heart right now as you think about playing as a pro in Germany?
I mean, my focus right now is just working on myself, getting better, staying in shape, and just making sure when I get down there, I exceed my expectations. So,
How have you done that already? How have you at Oswego exceeded your expectations that you had going in?
I wouldn't say I exceeded my expectations in Oswego.
Okay.
Definitely wanted a national championship, didn't get that, but I think we definitely did something special, build a little dynasty, if you may call it, and yeah, we'll just go down in Oswego history. So,
You know, they say that this game and the game of life comes down to a few plays. What were some of those moments in the opportunities that you've had that you felt like were right there, were so close? I mean, I was watching these. I know the heartbreak. I had sent the picture to Jason of, I was at the ACC tournament in Charlotte, and I had my computer up, and I took a picture of my computer, and so in the distance is the ACC court, and Oswego was on my computer, and I'm sitting there watching the game. My heart broke for you guys, but, and I know that that's only a tiny fraction of a piece of sand to what you guys feel in those moments, but it was so close. If life is a game of those moments, right? What were some of those moments when you look back that you thought, like, we were so close to this? What are some of those, like, little intricate things that you said to yourself, this is why, or this needs to change, because you've had time to reflect on it?
yeah, I mean, that Whitewater game, we got two chances to win.
Yeah.
Got a behind the back tip, went through my hands, and then I got a last second turnaround that just went in and out. So, I mean, just knowing that, like, a shot's got to fall, and you just got to work on it a little bit more, and just be in the gym and just mentally just stay always focused. So, never getting loose.
When the shot doesn't fall, how much of that do you sit with and put on your shoulders? Because let's say you took that shot, you've taken it a million times in practice, your mechanics were good, your look was good, you thought your feet were set right. Like, I played basketball the majority of my life, and a lot of times, and you could probably second me on this, 9 times out of 10 when the ball leaves your hand, you know if it's going in or not. But there's shots that you take that 1 time out of 10 where you're like, this looked good, right? I did what I was supposed to do. I let it go. And sometimes it just rolls around and rolls out. How much of that do you put on yourself when a shot like that goes in and out?
I definitely hold it a little tight. Yeah, I mean, I look at myself as a leader. The guys look up to me as a leader, and never want to disappoint, you know? So when that shot doesn't fall, I feel like I let someone down. So,
you know that Michael Jordan has been quoted as saying how many times he's missed a game winner and moments where things didn't go the way that he hoped that they would go. When you take that time to sit and think about it, like you said, you know, I consider myself a leader and guys look to me. How much time do you give yourself with a shot that doesn't fall and then eventually let it go, understanding the fact that the greatest players to ever touch the game have never made 100% of their shots?
I'd give it to, like, the next day.
Okay.
Next day I'll be fine. I mean, I mean, I understand. Like, it's like, just move on, you know? Things happen. I mean, I'll always remember it. It'll always sit with me, but it's never going to deteriorate me or change the way I go about my work and stuff like that. I mean, just keep my head down, work hard, don't say a word, and the results will show.
Of the shots that don't fall, so many of them did for you, Jeremiah. So, like you said, you take a day with the ones that don't, but reflecting on everything that has happened and the work that you have done as a team, I think you can say this. There have been games where, to the average basketball fan, Oswego was out of the game. In the first half, out of the game. Second half, 9 minutes to go, out of the game. But you have been on teams from year to year that have rallied. What is it about Oswego State and the culture of this team that I have seen multiple games where it looks like you guys are done, and 9 times out of 10, y'all are right there at the end of it, never really done? Bring me into the culture of the fact that some people might go, oh no, this game is over, but I've learned from the Lakers, you guys are never really done.
No, yeah, I mean, it's just a never quit mentality. It also has to do with coaching when it comes down to the wire. Game plan helps us execute better. Quit mentality, just knowing basketball is a game of runs, and we're gonna get ours, and just having faith in each other, trusting each other that like whatever shot you shoot, no one's gonna be mad. We all think it's gonna go in, and it's just a big trust thing.
When you look at your teammates and these guys that you've spent so much time with, including this past season, who sticks out over the years to you that really had some of the greatest impacts on you? The guys that, be it in practice, be it in class, be it, going out and getting pizza somewhere, you feel like just really brought out the best in you?
It's a good question. Let's see. I'd have to say my boy Jamal. I mean, he was quiet and just worked hard. Got really good grades. Stayed on top of his stuff. I mean, he was just as much as a leader as I was. So I definitely think Jamal's that guy I can look up to, and he definitely made me better.
And Jamal, being a grad student, you guys stepping away, does it lighten the blow at all that you're going together, that that like this last ride was the last ride together, and that you're not leaving one of the other guys there for next season?
I mean, yeah, we're definitely like, it definitely lightens the blow, but we're still leaving a group of guys that we used to play with and that were underclassmen that we cared for also, and we definitely want to see them do well also. So we're definitely gonna stay in touch and watch the games and support the way alumni should.
Jeremiah Sparks, Oswego State Lakers men's basketball alum, heading to play pro ball in Germany here inside the Heritage Hill Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Who's the leader now? You talk about those underclassmen. Who is the leader or leaders that you pass the torch to?
We'll go with Aki Anderson, Sean Edwards, and Rashawn Grant.
Why'd you pick those 3 guys?
Because those 3 guys, Aki, he embodies Oswego, hard worker, great basketball player, great teammate, friend. Sean, great, same thing, great teammate, friend, works very hard. Gotta be one of the hardest workers that I've seen come through Oswego. And Ray, I mean, he's been through some stuff, but he's tough. He's the toughest kid I know. I mean, you never see that he's down and out, and he's just always working, always wants to be in the gym, always trying to learn. So I think he'll be a good leader for the young kids.
There was and I appreciate you sharing that. There was a message that came through from your head coach, Jason Leone, in honor of you signing to play pro ball. His words were, "Congrats to an all-time Laker great, Jeremiah Sparks on signing his first pro contract. Nobody has overcome more. Nobody has put more time in. Thank you, Nick Perrioli, for helping get a fellow Oswego State men's basketball alum connected. The Laker family is strong. Happy for you, Jeremiah. The words, nobody has overcome more. Nobody has put more work in, more time in. Why do you think Coach Leone said that about you?
I mean, everybody's got their story and their rough patches throughout life. So I've definitely had my ups and downs and just stuck with it and claw my way back. And now I'm playing pro. So yeah. And then for the time in, I mean, just to be better, you gotta put the time in. You can't, the results don't show if you don't put the time in. So
what has been some of that adversity? Like you said, everyone has a story, and we've talked about that on the show today, was a theme of the broadcast. What, for you, when you think about your life personally, bring us into some of those moments of adversity that you've faced so far that's led us to the Jeremiah Sparks that's sitting with us today.
I mean, so I don't actually live with either of my parents. I haven't lived with them for quite a while now, probably since like 10th grade. And I've kind of jumped from house to house here and there throughout my community and stuff like that. So, I mean, just being able to still go through college without having much financial help and stuff like that, and just finishing through college without being able to get help much. And so I was just basically doing everything on my own. So it's kind of that thing. But
what led you to that? I mean, 10th grade, you're still a kid, but 10th grade, I mean, you're what, 16 years old maybe? So
yeah.
What led to that for you to ultimately say, you know what, I can't do this way. I won't do it this way, and I need to do better for myself. Bring me into that moment where you made the decision as a 16-year-old kid, I can't live here anymore. I'm going to have to find another way.
Yeah, it was kind of a late decision. My mom already planned on coming up to New York for the summer to drop off my siblings, and we were supposed to move to a new district down in North Carolina. So I decided that I thought it would be better for me to go back up north and play basketball and take a shot at a career. And I had people from home that I stayed in contact with that cared for me and stuff, and allowed me to stay with them with open arms. And so that's basically the reason.
You came from Jordan Elbridge out in Jordan, New York. You said, since 10th grade, you haven't been with your parents. So 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, through college now, a bunch of years. Where have you been able to stay, and how I know you said you've gone from place to place, but kind of bring us into your journey as much as you want to share of what your life has looked like, not having a traditional home or maybe a consistent place. What have you called home over these last few years?
I mean, I've been lucky to call many places home. I've had a lot of friends that have helped me throughout my days. But as of now, I've been here since college. I've been here 5 years. Staying with a friend, a brother, Tyler Waldron. I met him my junior year when I came back to Jordan Elbridge. He was a freshman. Good kid. Talked to him in open gyms. Helped him out with basketball stuff because he was just interested and wanted to learn more and wanted to be better. So our senior year comes around. He ends up making varsity as a 10th grader. And he's just struggling with some of the plays and stuff. So I'm helping him. I'm coming over here, and we're just hanging out, just building a relationship. And then I happened to get kicked out of my other house. So they let me in with open arms, and I've been here ever since then.
And so for you, and I know obviously making mention of him, but who do you want to thank over the years for helping you to have places to call home?
No, I mean I could thank a lot of people for giving me places that I can call home, and they know that as well. But I do want to thank one person that I've been living in their house for 5 years. Shannon Buell has been a big support and a big helping stone in college and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Like you said, not having financial support, not having your parents around. How have you gotten through this? How have you done this financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? This is a lot. I mean, so oftentimes people see the athlete, right? And they see you on the court and they're like, oh, he had 20 points today. And oh, he had this many rebounds. Oh, the team won the game. But they don't see the person behind. And everything about what I do for a living is about the person more than it's about your statistics. And hence the fact that we've been talking for how long and we didn't mention a single statistic yet. So kind of going in an ironic way, using that word statistic, when you don't have your parents and there's no clear-cut way to get somewhere, some people become a negative statistic, right? They give up. You didn't. So how did you get through all of this? Like I said, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, how did you get here today? Because I just know a good young man, but that young man's been challenged. So how did you get here?
I mean, just not giving up on my dream, knowing that I want to play basketball professionally, and knowing that I want to, like what everybody says is generational wealth. So, I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to build something for my family when it comes down to it, because I don't know many parts of my family. So, family's small. So that's definitely something that kept me pushing and was always in the back of my head. And yeah.
Your family, you're a definition of something we say all the time here. Family is not blood. Family are the people that show up. When you think about the family that has been created over time here, just how you would describe the family that has chosen to be your family, Jeremiah. And because if I've learned anything about life, blood is not thicker than water. It's the relationships. So when you look at the family that you have, how would you describe the people that you consider to be your family, your home, your people?
I mean, loving, caring, open-minded. I mean, and selfless. I mean, they sacrifice a lot for me, especially with my basketball and stuff. And yeah, I couldn't thank them anymore. And I thank them thousands of times, and I'll probably never stop. So,
why did you never give up? What is it about you that you just kept going?
I mean, I just wanted it. It's just something that brought me joy, and I mean, whenever I'm on the court, I'm happy. I'm not thinking about anything else, and just playing the game I love.
Where does that fire come from, Jeremiah? I mean, your last name is Sparks, and you've been a spark so many times to this team. What's the spark inside of you that never loses its flare, so to speak?
I don't know. I mean, because basketball was just my first love, and I just never wanted to end.
And we know that hopefully it is just beginning here. And anybody that's been around you or feels that energy, I'm very confident, positive, and sure that this is the beginning for you to head off to Germany and have some fun over there. Before we jump into rapid fire, my final note here for you, Jeremiah, is what the game has taught you. You said the game is my first love. And, when it comes to broadcasting and doing what I do, I always say, like, this is my first love, my first marriage, right? And so I know all about that. And people say, because, being a single man in society, I've had those opportunities and they weren't good. And I looked at the thing that I love and I said to myself, when you love something, it's got to give to you and you have to give to it. And if you don't have that in what you're chasing for a profession, if you don't have it in a relationship of any kind, then it's not worth it. It's give and take. So if you say basketball is your first love, what has it given to you? You've poured so much into it. What has basketball given to you?
I mean, it's taught me a lot. I kind of take the game as like real life, just patience. Knowing that you really can't do everything by yourself. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, I mean, emotionally, it keeps me going.
Yeah. I look forward to everything that's going to come from this, and I appreciate everything you've done, as I've said before. Let's jump into rapid fire. You never get to ask people questions, but now you do. On this show, athletes as well as coaches get to ask the questions. So go ahead and put me on the hot seat in rapid fire. Jeremiah, what do you got for me?
I get to ask questions?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
You've been good with me, so normally we go back and forth, but I'm going to change it up today. You get 3 questions. You will not be on the hot seat at all. You get to ask me 3 questions in a row whenever you're ready.
Okay. Who's the biggest name you've broadcasted?
Biggest person. So we got a bunch of different shows. I'll do Wake Up Call because this has been the longest. So biggest names. I don't know if I can pick one. I'm going to say Mark Few, Gonzaga's head coach. Tom Izzo, Michigan State. Coach K, Duke. Roy Williams, North Carolina. Jim Boeheim, Syracuse. Nick Saban, Alabama football. Dabo Swinney, talking to him about God. Clemson football. Jimbo Fisher, Florida State football. Mike Norvell, Memphis and Florida State football. I would say
Those some great names, Al.
Yeah, one of my close friends, God rest his soul in heaven, Floyd Little, Syracuse 44, Denver. And, and honestly, and I'm not saying this because of this conversation. When you ask me this question, I say those names and those names are recognizable. I'm not saying this because you and I are talking. One of the greatest influence, like one of the people that always reminds me who I am, no matter what the world says, who I definitely hear through all of the muffling of this world of sound, is Jason Leone. He has been one I never thought in my entire life, ever in my life, that I'd be in a room and hear anybody say this, ever. And a couple of years ago, I came to one of your postseason games, I think right at the beginning, and Jason came in and he saw me and he said, he's like, Danny's here. He's like, oh, this must be a real big game or a real game or something like that. Mm-hmm. He shook my hand, whatever. He goes to leave and I'm sitting in my seat and there's all these people in the room. And he stops. And this is after y'all won. It's about you guys. It has nothing to do with me whatsoever. I did not expect this at any point in my life, ever. I didn't know that this was coming. He turned around, he looked at the room, he goes, do you guys know what's happening right now? He said, you're witnessing history. He said, you're standing in the room with the best broadcaster to do it right there. And he pointed to me. And I don't know how I deserve that, but he has had such an effect on my life. So I'm going to put him in that conversation as well.
I expected to hear that name. I was waiting for it.
What's your second one for me?
Yeah, my second question is, when did you start your broadcast for Wake Up Call?
So it started, I started as a professional when I stepped into college, and 2003 started broadcasting Division III games, and MU courtside for Marywood University in Scranton, D3. And so I've always had a lot of respect for all divisions because I was at a D3 school, and I just grew up that you respect people, not wherever people think people are, but you respect people for who they are. So MU courtside started it off for me. One of the people listening and watching today, Jerry Hart, supported me from day zero. He works security at Marywood, and he's still watching the show to this day, almost 21 years later. So it started as MU courtside. It became the Dan Tortora show. Then it became Wake Up Call. And I will celebrate 21 years November of this year. And I'm throwing a huge party because 21 is my favorite number. I can't believe it's 21. I feel like it's like year one or year three. If you took me and put me in the body of me at 18 years old broadcasting at Marywood, I still feel the same. I'd like to think I've learned something, but I just feel the same. Like, I love it with everything that I have. I love it more every day. And I am grateful to God that every single second of my life is spent with me serving him and him somehow creating with me this world where I get to do my kid dreams every moment that I'm alive, which I hope everybody gets to do, including yourself.
No, yeah, for sure. That is definitely every kid's dream to pursue their passions and stuff. But my last question is, what is your favorite sport to watch?
Oh man. So
good question.
It's a great question. So, favorite sport to watch. I watch golf more now than ever. I watch baseball now more than ever. But I can proudly say that there is no greater moment in sports, in my opinion, of 38 years of being on this earth, than the round of 64 in the Division I men's basketball tournament, where there is basketball on from noon to past midnight, and I will sit there and you can come to my house and you can eat with me and you can sit with me and you can watch the games as long as you fully understand that basketball will be on the television all day. I watch it like the Matrix. I put all the games
Four different
up.
TVs.
Yeah, like
4 different TVs, all the channels, TBS, True TV, all that. In my mind, like to me, I wish every round was 16 games from noon to midnight. Like, I love it. When it gets shorter and shorter, I get sad. And so I'm like, come on, man. And, but ultimately, I don't think, if I put it up next to the Super Bowl and I put it up next to other things, the college football playoff, there's nothing I get more excited about than March Madness. Yeah. March Madness is a great choice. Great choice.
So with that being said, Jeremiah Sparks heading off to Germany here in early August, and here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora once again, the opportunity to speak with Jeremiah more than we've ever gotten to, thanks to Jeremiah spending some time here in the Heritage Hill Studios. Oswego State. What were
Thank you for having me. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. Oswego State Lakers men's basketball alum, heading to play pro ball in Germany. I can't thank you enough, man, but I will say this. If you are in town between now and the beginning of August, we need to get some FaceTime and find some time to break bread together before you go.
Okay, of course. I'm working with Leon for his camps right now, so we can definitely make some plans and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's figure something out before you go. And I don't say this lightly. I hope that you felt this, and I hope that you know this. But for you, as you've grown your family over time, I want you to know that if you're willing to take another person in it, I consider you part of my family. And I mean this when I say this. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I know that you're going to be awesome. I know that because you already are. So I just want you to know, from me to you, if you can accept another person in your family as it grows, I'd be happy to be there. And I don't say I love you lightly, but I have every reason to say it, no reason not to. So I love you, and I consider you part of the family now.
No, I 100% accept you too. You're like Leon's brother, my uncle now. So
there we go, man. Jeremiah Sparks. We'll talk with you soon. Thank you for this
yes,
time
sir.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. And thank you for the positivity that you just shared around the world with people that I'm sure needed to hear it today. So we'll talk soon, but God bless. And I'm like Leon's brother. I'm going to tell him that now. So, thanks, Jeremiah. God bless. We'll talk soon.
Of course. See ya.
See you, man. Coming from Jeremiah Sparks here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I love that kid. I really do. I got love for him in my heart. When you feel that in your heart, you got to say it. And to the men out there that think it's not cool to say I love you, the strongest men I know are the men that share their feelings. So when you love somebody, when you love something, put it out there, folks. Don't hide it. You'll regret it. And what do we talk about, right? You don't want to be laying in that bed someday looking up at, blank ceiling saying, I wish I could have, I should have. No, shoulda, woulda, coulda is not in my vocabulary. It's all about doing everything we can to live the best life we can while we have the time to live it. God bless you all. We'll be back here inside of the Heritage Hill Studios in just a moment. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food tastes delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really changed the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality, and I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really in large part changed that value system for employees, so they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and hobby shop. Make sure you head over there to GG Cards and Breaks. When it comes down to it, they have so many things. Baseball, basketball, football, softball, soccer, all sport would be with all those lacrosse and whatnot. So basketball, football, all sport, soccer, hockey, baseball, Disney Lorcana, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. It's a constant moving system at GG Cards and Breaks of bringing in singles, relic cards, autograph cards, numbered cards, rookie patch auto cards, awesome patches, awesome things for your display case, for your personal collection to bring and see if you can buy, sell, and trade with them yourself. And of course, they have packs and boxes for you to open. They brought in a bunch of new stuff. Anthony told me that they got some new great things in the store. So make sure you head out there and do what I do. I go in, and then a few days later, I'm like, I got to see what they got again today. GG Cards and Breaks. It helps to feed that kid spirit. They're awesome, passionate people when it comes to the sports card and trading card world. They collect themselves, they educate, and they help you to know the information. If they don't have the information, they're going to find it for you. It's just a wonderful atmosphere full of great people, and you want to spend money there because not only do you want to take home something cool, but you want to help people that are the caliber of Josh and Anthony and the team. So big time thanks to GG Cards and Breaks for all that you do on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Go and see them Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sundays from 10 to 5 right off of Teal Avenue. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I have had a tremendous time hanging out with you today. I feel very spoiled. So thank you for being with me as you always are all around the world, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, our first home of the great state of New York, our second home of the great state of Florida, also Pennsylvania, so many places up and down the East Coast, North Carolina, where we have proudly covered East Carolina as well as UNC, Charlotte, and Chapel Hill. So UNC Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill, Duke, Wake Forest, NC State, and so on and so forth. I have been very privileged to spend so much time up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, getting out toward the West Coast there, going out to Arizona to see Game 3 of the World Series of my favorite Diamondbacks with my dad. And now my dad, who's always been a Yankee fan, is now a Diamondback supporter. And his words to me, as long as the Diamondbacks don't play the Yankees, I'm always cheering for the Diamondbacks outside of that one game. So that's really cool to hear, especially from my dad, who's been a Yankee fan forever and a day. So not that he's not a Yankee fan, but he's also a Diamondback fan. So that's really cool. Big time shout out to my dad for that. So you can find us all around the country and the world. We are proud to have listeners from the United Kingdom, as well as Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Russia, China, the Middle East, Canada, Mexico, South America. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And of course, going to our website, wakeupcalldt.com, where everything is. Many thanks to those of you that download us on your favorite podcasting platform, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube. All you have to do to find us here or on any other outlet is to search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. I always appreciate you connecting with us. Make sure to follow us and subscribe to us on these channels so that you get updates when our show has new additions to it, to the archive. You can also ask Alexa and your Google Home device to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And if you get notifications about Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, when I add stuff, you will get those alerts, and Alexa or your Google device will tell you what is newest on Wake Up Call, and you can listen to it from wherever you are. Make sure to visit our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York, Heritage Hill Brewhouse, Heritage Hill North, our proud exclusive studio partners, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Avicoli's, Canine Camp, Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world. See why I say that with all of the amazing things they make in-house. Cotton candy, over 70 flavors of their popcorn, kettle corn, all that good stuff. Chocolate dip this, chocolate dip that, their lemonades, and of course, now their freeze-dried candy assortment, which has the flavors that so many of us grew up with, all at Mon Paz, 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. We will see you over there. Great Lakes, Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own sandwich 7 days a week, the Cuse McMother, and you can get the Cuse McMother today by going to 3709 James Street in Syracuse, 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Mother's Cupboard, serving up the Cuse McMother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Cut it up and have it with syrup. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. GG Cards or Breaks, Pizza Man, Servomation Refreshments, and of course, Carvel DeWitt, our longest-standing partner, as I mentioned before, has such an amazing assortment of fantastic flavors, including the only home, the exclusive home of the DT Dolphin, my Lemoyne Dolphins-inspired sundae, with mint chocolate chip, green for the Dolphins, ice cream, hot fudge, whipped cream, cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream, only at 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. We'll see you over there, and that is available 7 days a week, every single season, spring, summer, fall, and winter over at Carvel DeWitt. So make sure you go out and get it there. The Lemoyne College Dolphins are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can find all of our content with Lemoyne by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. I don't know why I'm doing these. I like doing impressions, and now that old country voice coming out here, but I don't know why. It's Friday. So make sure you go and check out our Lemoyne and I want to make you laugh because some of you might be sitting at a job right now going, I need a little pick-me-up, Dan. So trying to help you all out here this morning. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find your Dolphins by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And make sure you click subscribe, hit the notification bell. Find the Lemoyne playlist on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Dolphins by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and underneath the exclusive partners tab, the Dolphins are with you during Dolphin time every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, right here exclusively on Wake Up Call. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. And as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bobcats and discover what it's like to get your degree or finish up your degree in a fantastic place that has awesome job placement and a unique approach to student-athlete opportunity that if you still have eligibility and you feel like, hey, I'm past the age of 24, I can't play college this or college that. If you still have eligibility and you have talent, you have an opportunity at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse that a lot of places do not offer. So get in touch with them. They have campuses on James Street in Syracuse and right off of Route 57 in Liverpool, across the street from Avicoles. The Bobcat Buzz comes to you, and every single month you could find our channel, youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the BSC Syracuse playlist for all of our Bobcat coverage over the years. You can also find your Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab on the website. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single... See, Jerry appreciated me just slipping into impersonations this morning. The Binghamton University Bearcats, you will find them every Tuesday on Wake Up Call exclusively at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. Our monthly specials, Moments with Marshall, featuring Gene Marshall, Binghamton University Athletics Director, with a behind-the-scenes look at Binghamton University and their athletic department from their leader, and the Bearcat Break Room with the stories of student-athletes, coaches, and administration telling us about why Binghamton for them, what the experience has meant to them, and the unique personal connection that we make not only with Gene Marshall, but with the Bearcats across time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can find all of our content on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and see our Binghamton University playlist. You can also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to bubearcats.com, and as always, go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I hope you have a fantastic and wonderful day. Please have a great weekend. Stay safe. And once again, I want to shout it out at Henniger's Sunnycrest Park this Saturday, July 13th, from noon to 2 p.m. RAPS rating system is putting on the first ever girls flag football combine in Central New York, and it will be led by Rob and Raphael Drummond. Please come out. I will be there. I believe Ken Bartolo will be there, who's been on the show. Come out and see us on site, on location. If you play girls flag football, if you're interested in girls flag football, they have all different ages up to 18 that can participate in the drills that are going to be happening at the Combine. This is an opportunity for you to get out there with the community, showcase yourself. If you play girls flag football, if you're interested in playing, if you want to test your skills and see what you've got, come out this weekend. It's a great, great community event. First being put on, like I said, in Central New York in girls flag football history, and it's led by two fantastic people in Rob and Raphael Drummond. We look forward to seeing you out there. I will be with them from noon to 2. You can come sign up on site if you haven't signed up yet. I'll share the information on our social media, Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Thank you for making last night's trade night at the Wildcat Sports Pub so great on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. Go out and support them. And, of course, go out to GG Cards and Breaks, who put on the trade night, and support them as well on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. For now, from the Heritage Hill Studios, we'll see you out in the country at 3149 Sweet Road in Pompey at the Heritage Hill Brew House, and we'll see you at Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street, their newest location. That's in North Syracuse, right at Sweetheart Corners. Big time thanks to Carvel for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Top dog of the week from K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Parents and guardians, mentors, teachers, and coaches that are spending time with the children of our future. They are my top dogs this week, last week, the week after, and so on and so forth. And to one of the top dogs that I've met in this community, Jeremiah Sparks. So happy that God crossed our paths together. And I love you, brother. So God bless to Jeremiah. Many thanks to all of you. Have a wonderful day. God bless. No